There's a fear of failing again. Well, if I take this on and I invest in myself, well, I might fail. Go into your head and figure out why you have a bad relationship with food.
What about the all or nothing mindset?
You need to be human as well, right? We want at least 90% whole food plant-based, and then 10% just, treat yourself, whatever that looks like for you. The method you're going to use to lose the weight is how you're going to have to live the rest of your life. Right, a little interruption before we get into today's episode. So I run these shows sponsor-free. We will never take on sponsors because everything is self-funded through our Fit Vegan coaching program. So if you enjoy these shows, the best way to support is obviously to subscribe to the channel. But also, if you know anyone over the age of 50 that is looking to improve their body composition, combat sarcopenia, combat osteoporosis, get healthier on a whole food plant-based lifestyle, to simply send them our way at fitvegancoaching.com, because we are the best in the world in helping people over 50 transform. Over 1,000 transformation in 20 different countries. So simply send them our way. In addition to that, a percentage of our profit monthly goes towards supporting cancer patients with their treatments and bills and whatever they may need to support themselves and their family. So you're also supporting additional people outside of the work that we'd be doing in the program. That is all I have for you today, so enjoy the episode. So actually, before we dive into today's episode, I just want to quickly announce we are doing our only Fit Vegan workshop of 2025, which is going to take place on September 20th to 21st in Vancouver, BC. It's going to be an awesome time. To the event, we're going to bring you through multiple workouts. You'll get to have some hands-on coaching with our staff of Fit Vegan coaches. You'll get to connect with other like-minded individuals. You'll be able to eat Fit Vegan approved food that's going to be whole food plant-based, higher in protein. It's going to be an absolute blast. So if you want some more information on that, I invite you to check out the link down below in the description. We can only take on 30 members, 30 clients for the workshop. So if you are a Fit Vegan member, you do get a saving on the workshop. Just check the Fit Vegan app. If you're an alumni member as well, just reach out to us. We'll be able to give you the code so that you can save some funds. If you are a member, you want to bring a friend, you'll also be able to get a saving for your friends. And if you're from the public, the workshop is pretty cheap for everything that's going to be included in it as well. So you might as well join and come and join us and have an awesome time. And if you've been wanting to work with our Fit Vegan coaching program, might as well join and get the discount on the workshop. Again, spots are limited at a time of this recording. We only have about 15 spots left for the workshop because I announced it to our members first. So head down below to the link, check it out, and look forward to seeing you in Vancouver in person. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fit Vegan podcast. Today, we have a very special episode. We have my beautiful wife, Ivy, joining us today in the studio. Definitely not our dining area. So Ivy does a lot of the initial consultation calls for people that are interested in joining our Fit Vegan program. And what she's done is she's made a list of some of the main, problems that people have in their own transformation and why they're feeling stuck. And I know that we can't work with everyone, and sometimes it's not feasible for people to do our program. So I figured that I would address every single one of those points so that if that is your situation and for some reason you can't do a program because of timing or finances or resources or whatever it may be, that you're going to have some of the tools I'll be sharing with you today to help you on your journey. So my love, you want to kick it off with the first question?
Take it away. Yes.
Take it away.
So there's different parts in terms of like objections from people, right? Or issues or whatnot. So we'll start with the most common, which I don't think people usually realize. It's the mindset, right?
Yeah.
So you're big on mindset.
Yeah.
This is your thing. So what do you usually say to people that says, hey, I've failed so many times before and I'm not sure if I can do this? Basically, there's trauma from past programs already that never worked.
So listen, I think there's multiple areas. Someone said once, don't let a bad decision burn you twice, right? So two things to that. Again, depending on what the program was, they might have made you do too much, like 2 hours of exercise every day and severely cut your calories. If that's the case, that's not what we're going to do with you. But one thing I would be more interested in that person looking into is, one, were they compliant with that program? So it's like they tried and they got burnt. If they weren't compliant with the program that they were on, then the program wasn't their issue. The compliance is that they weren't compliant with the plan. Because let's be honest, I could starve you and make you do exercise 2 hours a day. You lose weight. Anyone would lose weight. You don't have to be a good coach to know that, right? So a good coach will meet you where you're at. We'll do it in a slow way. We'll work with you through the reasons why you're having a hard time sticking to the workout plan. Why potentially you're falling more into the cravings or giving into stress and making decisions that you're not supposed to. That's what a good coach will do. And just any general, I say dummy, but we'll just like, hey, let's just starve you, do a bunch of exercise, and you're going to lose some weight. So I would say from a mindset piece, if you weren't compliant with the previous plan, that's the issue, right? Again, you can be compliant to pretty much any form of plan. Is it going to be the healthiest for you? Depends what the plan is. But if you're compliant with most things that put you in a calorie deficit, you're going to see some weight loss. And so if the compliance is an issue, then looking as to why you're having a hard time being compliant, and maybe you need more help on the psychological side versus the fitness and nutrition side. The second element that I see often in people is that there's a fear of failing again.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So they're afraid of like, well, if I take this on and I invest in myself, well, I might fail, because potentially they know that they have a hard time being compliant.
Absolutely.
So that I would say is like really check in with yourself to make sure that you're ready to make that commitment to yourself. Because a lot of people say like, oh yeah, I want to lose weight. Oh yeah, I want to exercise. And then when given the opportunity to do so, like, it's more convenient for me to sit on the couch and order this pizza on Uber Eats than it is for me to go and do the exercise and eat the Buddha bowl that's in the fridge. So at the end of the day, it's making sure that people really want it for themselves, because I think a lot of people are falling to pressure from society and people and their surroundings. It's like, you should lose weight. Or they say to themselves, I probably should lose weight. Yeah. So then they start looking for ways to solve that. But I probably should lose weight is definitely not enough commitment on their part to make it happen. It is tough to lose weight. You know, I personally don't think that the exercise is that challenging. I think for most people, they're pretty fine with exercise. It's the food, right? It's like not giving into stress, not giving into the cravings. But the issue here is that there's a I'm not say bad relationship with food, but there's an issue with the relationship with food.
Right.
And that doesn't require you to meal prep. That requires you to go into your head and figure out why you have a bad relationship with food. Yeah. And I think that that's the work that people aren't ready to do. So to answer the question, it would be make sure that you're actually ready to give the commitment and do whatever is necessary, because the best way to succeed at anything is to model someone that has done it. So, yeah.
So would you say that they need to be all in mindset wise before doing the program?
Yeah, absolutely. And all in doesn't mean like I'm going to be perfect the whole way through. All in means I will do what is necessary whenever I fall off track, because everyone will. If you put 1,000+ people, everyone's fallen off track multiple times. Like life happens, you just can't control that. Right. But it's basically having the willingness to get back on track whenever they do get off track. Not seeing it as a form of failure, not using it as an opportunity to quit, but being like, cool, I messed up. What's the lesson here? Cool, let's just win the next meal. Let's just win the next workout and get back at it. Because you can't fail if you don't quit. So if you're just have the willingness to show up again and continue, then you're just undoubtedly going to get to where you want to.
I think in fairness, it's not just a mindset for them. It's other programs that was not sustainable. Like it's very rigid and
there's a lot of them out there.
Right. Like, they will do a major deficit and make you lose weight, but it's not sustainable.
Yeah. If you're not learning how to eat properly and improve your relationship with food, it's probably not going to be sustainable. Because if you're just going to eat like the same food every day for every meal. So that's what I always tell people. The method you're going to use to lose the weight is how you're going to have to live the rest of your life. So if you learn to be very restrictive, you can't have bananas because there's too much sugar. You can't have this, but realistically, you're going to do that for the rest of your life. You can't eat out at the restaurant. Are you not going to eat out at the restaurant for the rest of your life? Probably not. You're probably going to want to eat out at the restaurant, family events or whatever, if you're traveling. So you need, like, what we tell people is like, we'll teach you how to eat out at the restaurant. We'll teach you how to eat a variety of food, right? We focus on diversity with whole food plant-based eating. Again, I'm upfront about this. I'll eat some vegan cookie from time to time. Like you need to be human as well, right? We want at least 90% whole food plant-based, and then 10% just, treat yourself, whatever that looks like for you, because that's the reality of life. You're not going to eat whole food plant-based 100% of the time. You're not going to be on track 100% of the time. I'm not. The majority of our clients aren't, but they know how to consistently show up to get to the goal that they want to.
Absolutely. So what about the all or nothing mindset?
Oh yeah, we always tell our members, we're going to teach you to live in the gray, that like little middle zone between the all or, people's like all or nothing. So like black or white, basically.
Right.
We will teach you to live in the gray, because the all or nothing is what I just shared. Oh, I couldn't be perfect today, so hey, might as well eat an extra large pizza.
Right.
Like, no, it's almost like you accidentally dropped a rock on your left foot. You're like, well, might as well drop it on the right foot too. Like it doesn't make any sense. So, learning to live in the gray is learning to give yourself grace. Is pretty much what it means. If you slip up, or you make a decision that you're necessarily not the proudest of, or you miss a workout on one day, you don't beat yourself up for it. You don't eat more food. You don't miss more workout. We always tell members 2 things: win the next meal, win the next workout. Right. You miss a workout, try not to miss more than 2 days in a row, right? Try to do it the next day. You have a bad meal, great. Don't throw the rest of the day, the rest of the weekend, or the rest of the week out. Just win the next meal. We had someone that had issues with binge eating and ate like 5,000 calories at like nighttime on top of their food for the day. And the next day when I had my call with them, like it was early on in the program, I was like, I'm hesitant to tell you this, but like I ate like 5,000 plus calories of like, I think they ordered takeout and things like that. I was like, cool. Hope you had a good time. Just eat your breakfast today.
Was that person surprised from
Yeah, they thought I'd like yell at them or be like, oh, bad job. But I was like, cool. Well, I can't do anything about it, right? So just go back to eating healthy food and making you feel better. You can't recover from that. So it's just winning the next meal is the primary philosophy in the program. It's like, yeah, cool. You ate 5,000 calories. Hope you enjoyed yourself. You probably feel like anyways, but let's just focus on getting back on track. Let's not build an unhealthy relationship with food by cutting more food. Let's not build an unhealthy relationship with exercise by trying to do 2 hours of cardio to burn it. If you're trying to burn 5,000 calories by doing extra cardio the next day, you're going to be starving after you did all that cardio. You're going to want to eat more food. It doesn't make sense.
At least they're honest, right? Because if you were so rigid about the whole structure, then they probably won't tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So being flexible and, know that you're there for them and pick them back up and win the next meal or training, it's actually pretty good. And
our whole coaching staff is like that. Every single one of our coaches I've hired because we all align on the philosophy. I didn't teach them. I've taught them a lot of like our tools, but fundamentally they believe the same thing than I did, which is one of the reasons they're on the team.
Yeah, it's a great program. Well, what about the guilt or shame around current habits? So, like when they say, I know what I should be doing, but I just don't do it.
Yeah.
And then they feel embarrassed, and that embarrassment spirals down to like, hey, I might as well not do anything. Then goes back to the all or nothing.
Yeah.
But it's more of like out of shame.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I think people say embarrassment, but it's more guilt.
Okay.
Like they say that they know what they're supposed to do, but they're not doing it. So they feel guilty about not doing it, even though they have the knowledge. And we've worked with over 50 doctors. We've coached fitness coaches for their transformation. That tells you something. So one is like that gray area, learning to give yourself grace, right? No one's like, hey, I know how to do a lot of things. Do I do it perfectly every time? No. Now when I'm eating a nice little vegan mochi, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't eat this, but it's so good. So again, learning to give yourself grace, being human, but again, being consistent the majority of the time and having those little moments where you allow yourself to enjoy yourself. But yeah, getting rid of the guilt. And a big part is some people need accountability. Some people need someone to check in on them. I happen to not be one of those people. I'm pretty blessed with that. I've always been very self-accountable, but some people need a coach to check in on them in their messages every day. Someone need a weekly check-in. Some people need a monthly call. Some people know that they need to report to someone how their habits and their actions have been. That's absolutely fine. That's why we do Fit Vegan coaching, right? If you didn't need that, whenever I launched a book, read the book, you'll be able to do the full transformation. But a lot of people need accountability. And if you're struggling with your health, if you're struggling with your weight, you probably need accountability, because if you didn't, you would already be in shape, right? Exactly. So if you're someone that is struggling with that, 1,000% you're someone that needs accountability. If not, you already be in shape. You already have lost the weight. So yeah, just accepting that it's okay to have to need accountability. Like the majority of the world needs that.
Yeah, I think in like just awareness, right? So
Yeah.
the fact that they're aware, they're doing it, actually, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because then we can work with them. It's the ones that are in denial,
Yeah.
you know, the ones that I'm already doing everything and I know everything. It's
Yeah.
just
So
not
let's say something to that, because I'm sure that's another one of your points. We've had people book consultation calls with us. They're like, I already know everything. I was like, okay, well, great. Why are you here? Right? It was like, I'm not losing weight. Well, then you don't know everything. You're
Right.
missing. There's something missing by logic. If you don't have the thing that you want, there's knowledge missing or some action missing. So if you're not in the position that you want to, you have to accept that it's okay to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
All the
Absolutely.
most successful people I know have help. I consider myself to be successful in multiple areas. I have help in all those areas. I have a massive team around me to help me crush it in every
Right.
areas. We've had over 50 doctors come in the program. We have people that are not doctors coming in telling me they know everything.
Right.
But I have doctors coming in saying like, I don't know everything and I need some help. I'm like, that's such an interesting dynamic, right? So if you don't have the thing that you want, by default, you don't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Or potentially you do have the knowledge, but you just lack and you need some accountability, which again, there's nothing
Right.
wrong with it. The majority of the world is like that. So yeah, just accepting that and being, I think potentially people do it from a place of they're trying to keep themselves elevated. They want to feel good about themselves. So
Right.
like, well, I already know everything. I just need this. If you're not there, you need more than just this little thing.
Right.
And it's okay. If you need help, it doesn't make you less of a person. It makes you smarter because you're willing to ask
Right.
for help.
Yeah, and it just makes everything faster, right? Like you don't need to make the
Yeah.
mistakes and experiment on your own because you'll have guidance.
You don't need to touch fire to know that it will burn you. You can
Right.
ask someone else, I'll tell you.
Okay, then that next one is usually they're overwhelmed and like decision fatigue, basically. Like they'll say, I've tried keto, calorie counting, fasting. Now I'm confused and I've tried it all and I'm hearing all types of things from different doctors in the vegan space and I just don't know anymore. And they've given up.
Yeah.
They know so much that they've actually given up.
Information overload. So listen, I will encompass all of the methodologies into what I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. And some people are like, I've tried calorie deficit and then lose weight. If you didn't lose weight while you were supposedly in a calorie deficit, that means your metabolism is slower and you weren't actually in a calorie deficit. You need to go lower into your calories, right? If you're really, 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 really low on your calories, probably your metabolism is tanked and you need to reverse diet and speed it back up to a normal level so that then you can go into a fat loss. That might be a situation for it. I would call that reverse dieting. So if you do keto, Atkins, whole food plant-based, fasting, whatever other weird stuff is out there, if you are in a calorie surplus with all those methodologies, you will put on weight.
Right.
If you're in a calorie deficit with all those methodologies, you will lose weight, right? The laws of thermodynamics have not been beat. And you have every doctor agree on that, right? You can't, it's not because you're fasting, but you eat 5,000 calories a day, you're going to get fat, right? Whether you're fasting for 20 hours, you're eating 5,000 calories, you're still going to get fat. So you have to be in calorie deficit. Now, what is going to compose the calories for that calorie deficit will determine your health and how you feel every day. We believe in whole food plant-based eating because there's a lot of science behind it showing that you can get healthier. Now, for those of you, if you're listening to the Fit Vegan podcast, you're probably vegan or interested in plant-based eating. So I'm not going to talk about carnivore and all that other stuff, but let's say we agree on eating whole food plant-based. Within the whole food plant-based movement, there's different branches of religion.
Right.
High fat, low fat, seeds, no seeds, oil, no oil, salt, sugar, all that stuff. Okay. Primary function of body recomposition to get there. Two important elements: protein intake, calorie deficit. Protein intake is for maintaining and building lean muscle tissue. Calorie deficit is to lose fat. If you were to eat vegan Twinkies and vegan Pop-Tarts and drink protein shakes all day and hit your calories and hit your protein, you would lose weight. You would improve your body composition. You would feel like shit. Your digestion would be terrible, but you would lose weight because the two fundamental factors to improve body composition would be there. Right. But again, no nutrients, you'd feel terrible. Mm-hmm. Knowing that you can eat absolute crap, but being in a calorie deficit of your protein goal, you would lose weight. Okay, so let's do that. How about we fill those calories with not crap, with whole food plant-based? So meaning if you could eat crap and improve your body composition, you could just eat whole food plant-based. You can do high fat, low fat, doesn't matter as long as you're in a calorie deficit.
Right.
Right? You can do salt, no salt, sugar, no sugar, oil, no oil, right? There's, again, different school of thoughts on that. So we try to meet people where they're at. I don't try to ascribe to one specific thing, because we have a lot of people that come into the program that are new to this whole world.
Right.
And they're like, man, some clients come in, they're SOS. Phenomenal. We'll meet you where you're at. We'll make you an SOS meal plan. Some people come in, it's like, I'm not ready to cut out oil. Cool. Let's just, keep some oil in some of your recipes, but let's stay in a calorie deficit, eat whole food plant-based the rest of it, and your protein goal. Get phenomenal results. We don't want to put massive restrictions on people. So eat whole food plant-based, eat a variety of plant-based foods, stay within your calorie deficit, hit your protein goal. You're gonna get a lot more nutrients than if you were to eat crap, and you'll feel a lot better, and your body's going to change. Absolutely. You don't need to start nitpicking stuff. Because I made a YouTube video about what I eat in a day as a fit vegan athlete.
Yeah, I remember.
And someone was like, I guess you don't ascribe to you can't mix berries and bananas together. Right? Because apparently some doctors said you can't mix berries and banana. And then I wrote a little comment. It wasn't that long, but I'm just going to say it in this video. Listen, if you're worried about combining your berries and a banana, and you're not sleeping well, you're not managing your stress, you're not cutting out processed food and processed sugar from your diet, you're abusing caffeine and drinking alcohol, who cares if you combine berries and banana? I'd much rather you combine berries and banana than, like, people are focusing on the wrong things. Like,
right.
Get good sleep, manage your stress, eat whole food the majority of the time, move your body. Once you've optimized everything, then go nitpick at all this little stuff, right? Just eat whole food, plant-based variety. So many people are so obsessed about the small things that they're going to give themselves freaking cancer out of the stress. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I heard about that. It cancels like nutrients from the berries or something like that.
Who cares if you sleep 4 hours a night and you eat processed food? You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, less nutrients. Well, the freaking pizza didn't have any more,
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. That's pretty funny though.
Yeah, it just... We have a lot of people in the program where we've seen throughout the years that they're just trying to over optimize things from a nutrition standpoint, when if all they would do is just focus on eating whole food, plant-based, a variety, calorie deficit, hitting their protein, and exercising, and that extra energy that they spend over obsessing over, for example, berries and banana, they spent that on better managing their stress and sleeping an extra 30 minutes per day would be so much healthier than the nutrients that would be canceled from the berries and the banana,
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the fitness and physical limitations when they do come in, right? So injuries, joint pain, surgeries. I mean, we deal with 45 plus.
All the way to 86, yeah.
Right. So I usually I can't do squats or lunges because of my knees.
Yep.
I've had, knee surgery, back surgery.
So did many of our clients.
Will this still work for us? That's a concern.
Yeah, of course. So let's address this. All of our workouts are custom for people. So we've had people come in with knee surgery, hip replacement surgery. People come in with fused spines. We've got people with cancer. Like, we work with pretty much every single scenario at this point. So we meet people where they're at. So if they can't do squats, then it's, is it knee pain? Can we do some leg extension and strengthening the muscles around? So eventually we can do squats. Can we do maybe some hip thrusts or some leg curls to strengthen the glutes and the hamstrings so that eventually we can do a squat, right? So we want to meet people where they're at and build them up. I think people are concerned because they're like, oh, I want to start where everyone else is starting. And if I do that, then I'm going to have to do movements that potentially would hurt me.
Right.
No, we're going to meet people where they're at and build them right back up, even if it's slower than what they want. They think they do want to be able to do squats. It's like, hey, right now we can't do a squat.
Right.
I've had people sit on a chair and get up using the counter. Like, that was their leg workout. Let's just sit in a chair and get back up because they're carrying so much weight. So we want to meet people where they're at. And Nick has his master's in kinesiology. Like, we have an incredible team of coaches to handle all the training. What was it? There was another part to that, to the injuries.
Will this still work for me?
Oh yeah, will this still work for me? So absolutely it will. So here's the thing. Fitness is the thing that builds your body. Nutrition is the thing that reveals it. Mm-hmm. So if you're coming in to improve your body composition, we can still do a lot of exercise. Right. Again, meet you where you're at. If you have to start with curl was with resistance band. We have to start with you sitting on a chair and getting back up. You're still stimulating the muscle. Like if you sitting on a chair and getting back up is a form of exercise that we deem stressful enough on your body to build you up, it is stressful enough for you to build muscle. You don't need to have a bunch of heavy weights, right? If you're starting from really low, you don't need a lot to get some results. Nutrition, handling nutrition is the thing that will reveal the body. So continue to progress with the body recomposition.
Food, right.
Yeah, exactly. Doing nothing will not make you progress anywhere. That's for sure.
I think they're just fearful because from the past, like I hear, I've hired trainers in the gym and I ended up being injured instead. So that's their fear. Like, how is an online program going to do better than that when someone that's in person didn't even do as well?
Yeah. The trainers at the gym aren't paying that well. We aren't cheap. We're experts at what we do. So you don't get a cheap trainer out of doing this. If you were to hire us in person, it'd be more expensive than the freaking program. All right. So we have world-class coaches when it comes to that. Second, we have videos I've recorded. Again, you can test all of this. Go on my YouTube channel. Go to my playlist, Fit Vegan Exercise videos. There's over 100 videos in there. Go watch them and see how in-depth they are. That's how we coach the members. That's the exercise videos that they get for their exercises.
Right.
All the cues, everything is mentioned in there. And also you have the ability to film a video of yourself and send it to your coach so they can provide you feedback. So I have some of my clients sending me deadlift videos. I'm like, hey, good job on this, but your hips popped up a little bit too much and your right knee went in. So next time you're doing it, focus on pushing your knees on the outside, tuck your butt down, focus on putting the tension there. So we can provide feedback to people. And we also do Fit Vegan workshops. We're going to have one in Vancouver in September.
Right.
So we can have that hands-on experience with the members.
Yeah, and meet the coaches.
Yeah, and meet all the coaches. And again, our members are 50 to 86. We've been doing this for years, incredible results, and they're able to train safely.
How about when they say, I'm too tired to exercise? And they think it's because they're hearing stories like I exercise for an hour, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So they expect that to start.
Our workouts are like, again, we meet people where they're at. We've had clients on 15-minute workouts, right? 3 times a week because that's where we're meeting them because that's their current level of fitness. Average is like 30 to 45 minutes, maybe. We have some people that are a bit more intense that might go up to an hour, but the average I would say is about like 30 to 45-ish minutes for the work, like 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Again, depending on what you build with your coach, this is not preset. So if you come and like, hey, I only got 3 days a week because I got kids, I got a full-time career, cool. We'll take 3 days a week and do the best that we can with that. So you're too tired. So two things. Well, a lot of the times people are too tired because they're not exercising. I know it sounds silly, but once you start exercising, you actually have more energy because you're moving the blood flow in your body. You're flushing out some of the toxins. You actually feel better, and you actually sleep better at night, which therefore gives you more energy by default. And the second component to that is depending on the type of personality that you have, you may have too much on your plate. Yep. And it's learning to say no to things that aren't serving you, that are causing you to be unhealthier and more stress and lack sleep, to say yes to something that would make you feel better, like exercising and being able to prioritize your nutrition better.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so true. Just changing your diet does wonders, right? Like getting rid of processed or junk food. I mean, you start small and then consistent exercise just builds you up.
I think humans suck at setting boundaries. You really have to work at getting good at setting boundaries. So a lot of times we'll say yes to everyone besides ourselves.
Right.
And I've said this multiple times. It's the most selfless thing for you to do to exercise and take care of your nutrition to make sure that you're healthier. And it is super selfish for you to not take care of yourself because then if you get sick, guess who has to take care of you? All the people that love you have to see you suffer and take care of you because you didn't take care of yourself. So it is your responsibility as a grown adult to take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is my favorite, by the way. I want to build lean muscle, but I don't want to be bulky. I don't want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything like that.
Ivy, flex your biceps.
I can't see it.
All right. See Ivy's biceps on the camera here. If you're listening on audio, she has nice biceps. Ivy does not look like Arnold. And she's been strength training heavy since we first met.
Right.
Because that's when you weren't really strength training heavy when we first met.
No, I was more HIIT training.
Yeah. You're fitter than what we met because you're a little pogo stick when we met. Now you got muscles. You look like an athlete. She looks great. She does not look like Arnold. She's been lifting heavy 4 times a week for the past almost 4 years.
Yeah.
you will not look like Arnold. I'm just using Ivy as an example.
I mean, it's hard to look like Arnold. I know that now.
Yeah.
It's so hard to build muscle.
So let me ask you this. When we first met, you were more like a Pilates, spin class, yoga class type of girl.
Right.
Now you're strength training 4 times a week. Do you feel stronger and better in your body now than when you did before?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just took pictures, right, like this week, and I've seen the transformation of like my body recomposition of muscle, which I've never really seen like overall. And the fact that it's not even, I would like panic when the numbers in the scale actually go up. Because I'm so used to modeling before where I need to be in a certain size.
As light as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So that hinders me from like trying to really build muscle because it's just not a thing. I'm not a fitness model. I'm fashion. So now it's exciting because I'm telling Maxim, I'm like, oh my God, look at my muscles, look at my legs. And I'm deadlifting, like more than my weight, doing more push pull. Like I go heavier now.
Yeah.
And
You
I
got nice
compete
arms.
with guys around the gym.
Yeah.
They didn't know I'm in competition with them. It's just me thinking that we're in competition. But I'm like, if he's lifting that much, I can lift more than, or at least the same, considering I'm a lot smaller than the other person. So to me, that's just joy, pure joy. It's seeing progress. It's seeing that I'm a lot stronger and the program works because I literally
Ivy's in the program.
that's the Fit Vegan app program, right?
I built Ivy's workout. Benefits of being married to but I've told you this when we first met. Like when you start the strength training, you just walk around and there's like a tightness, like a strength to your body. You feel that now?
I feel that everything's just easier now. It's effortless, right? And I'm still always in awe and surprised that, oh my God, I can lift 10 more. Like every month I try to push like 5 more, 10 more. And you don't see me looking like a bodybuilder, but yet the strength that comes with it feels like I am a bodybuilder in my head, you know? And it's not showing as bulky, it's showing as strong tone. I can carry groceries in one go instead of going back and forth in the car. That's the goal. Basically.
We came, funny story. We came back from Costco yesterday and I had a big box of stuff and Ivy had like a box of like rice, the little containers of almond milk. There's 3 of them. She had 2 of them stacked on top of each other, plus the box of rice, and there was something else on top of it. Yeah. And we had to walk far with it. She's like, "You're making me carry the heavy stuff." I'm like, "That's why I train you, so you can carry the groceries with me."
And we have stairs, so you have to go up the stairs.
But like again, to me, you have a nicer physique than when we first met because you look more athletic, you look stronger, your legs look more full. But again, respectfully, you don't look like Arnold, even though you've been strength training 4 times
and
a
I
week.
weigh more than I did.
Yeah.
But yet
you want me to lift you? I'm like, hell no, you're too heavy.
I look leaner and like more tone and strong. So I love it. I love everything that's happening. So when I do speak with leads or people that are worried about, I don't want to get a lot of muscles and look like a dude. It's like, trust me, I tried like for 3-4 years. There's no way. I mean, unless you're like really dialed into your diet and bodybuilders too, like it's not happening. So don't worry. That would be the last of my worries. So that's great.
That answers that question.
That answered that questions. And I mean, if a 64-year-old and one of our members can do pull-ups and push-ups, there's no excuse for me.
Judy can do like what, 15 push-ups? Yeah, it's impressive.
And who did the pull-ups? Anne,
Marie, Randy could do pull-ups too. Yeah, but a lot of kinds. Again, in their 60s, crushing it.
Yeah, it's great. What about when they say cardio focused mindset? Oh, this is actually a good one. I only do walking or Peloton. I didn't think strength training was necessary. So their whole life, it's more cardio heavy workouts.
Yeah. Because, man, whatever cardio industry did great marketing back in the days. Like cardio is the most beneficial thing. Again, don't get me wrong. Phenomenal for your heart. For you to move and walk every day is great. I don't consider that to be the ultimate exercise. You need to walk every day. But as soon as you pass 30, sarcopenia starts to kick in. So there's a natural decrease of lean muscle tissue as you get older, as soon as 30.
Yeah, it's
right. So even I'm starting to experience that. So now there's a natural decrease in lean muscle tissue. Most people are, especially women, are under eating, especially not putting an emphasis on protein. They're doing a ton of cardio. They're just losing muscle mass at a much faster rate. So strength training is the thing that helps you stimulate and build more lean muscle. So it's important strength training is important for a few factors. One, it'll help you build stronger bones because you're putting that stress on the bone to become stronger. Second, it'll help you build more lean muscle tissue, which is important because like you're going to be stronger. And then thirdly, because as you get older, if you fall and get injured, the recovery time is a lot longer, and sometimes can be fatal depending on how old you are compared to when you're in your 20s. So if you have the muscle tone and the mobility and you go to fall and you catch yourself with your leg and your quad is strong enough to catch yourself, or if you miss a stair or whatever it may be, and you have the muscle to catch yourself, you're less likely to break a bone. And because that recovery period is so much longer. So there's a massive preventative aspect. And then fourth, I'll add that one, it will allow you to enjoy the later years in your life, because how many people just feel weak and tired all the time? And you see some other people in their 70s and their 80s, like in our program, they're just going hiking and like doing all these crazy trips.
Traveling.
Yeah, because they have the muscle tone, they have the strength and the stamina to do it.
Yeah, even doing endurance training, right?
Yeah.
That's impressive. What about those people that, why do you think there was such a big shift in terms of like doctors highly recommending strength training for older people now versus, in the last 5-10 years? I feel like it's a big spike of like just recommendation strength training.
I think more doctors are becoming aware that lifestyle changes are more important, right? There's ACLM, lifestyle medicine practitioners. It's becoming more and more popular. So more of them are realizing that like, hey, other lifestyle factors are more important than just taking meds all the time. You should probably manage your stress, eat healthier food, and exercise and move your body. I personally think that they've been doing it throughout all those past years, but it just wasn't in our circle of thought. You know what I mean?
It wasn't as highlighted as
well,
before.
It's just like we weren't paying as much attention to that because who we work with has changed a lot in the past 3 years. So I feel like they were doing it before. Right. Now we're just more aware of it because we work with more people that are like 50 to 86.
Right.
But I think more people are becoming aware that like meds are not going to solve everything. They're just a Band-Aid basically.
Right.
With, we see those ads on YouTube. They're like, take this medication if you have this issue. Side effects may be suicidal thoughts, diarrhea, vomiting. I'm like, oh my God.
Worse than the condition.
Yeah, I'm like, the condition's not even that bad.
It was like, for a headache.
Exactly. Holy
migraine.
Yeah.
That's
just,
crazy.
changing your, like, honestly, getting in shape, healthier, losing weight, having a mobile and fit body solves so many people. If you have a mental health issue, get in shape. It solves a lot of it, to be honest with you.
Also, I think, by the way, the heavy cardio time is probably Gen X. And that's what we're most focused on. And now it's more like, hey, you need to look
but
strong.
How many of those people have knee replacement surgeries because they're just running all the darn time?
So that's another thing. A lot of runners that did a lot of marathon and things like that they thought they were in tip-top shape.
Yeah.
And then now, like, in their only 40s, getting, like, knee surgery, hip replacement, this and that, can't do a lot. So what do you say about that? That there should be a balance in terms of, like, not overusing at an early age versus later in life?
No, but that was just my own philosophy that I came up with at one point. I can share that with you guys, but it's like anything. If you put a bearing and you turn it 10 million times, eventually it's going to break. You know what I mean? It's going to use itself. It's the same thing with the human body. The more usage you get, the more repetitive movement you do, like excessive repetitive motion. So if you're running marathons for like 10, 20 years and you're training for it, like, you're probably going to have some issues. Or like if you golf, a lot of people have issues with their elbows and their shoulders. A lot of repetitive motion. Sports, usually what it is. I wouldn't necessarily tie that to like people wanting to lose weight, unless maybe some people are doing it to lose weight. But I think, again, strengthening muscles, especially if you're training for something like a sport specific, strengthening muscles that are for that sport specifically, but are also strengthening the opposite muscle that aren't being worked as much, right? So if you're running, like a lot of people their glutes are severely underactive, so they're more quad dominant. So a lot of people start to have knee pain as they get older, and they're running a lot. If you were to train your hamstring and your glutes and your core when you're running, your glutes would take more of the load, so it would put less stress on your knees.
Right.
So there's different ways to train someone for some of these sports to help reduce some of the injuries and the pain. That's what I'm doing for my knees from basketball, right? Training more glutes and hamstrings and abs, because I am also quad dominant like the majority of the world. If you sit around all day a lot, high chance that your glutes are underactive. That's why it's important to activate them with like hip thrusts, like doing banging exercises before you start your workout.
Now we're going into the most common nutrition confusion and past diets. Okay, I will talk louder.
Yes.
Sorry. So fear of carbs, right?
Yeah.
So this
Carbophobics.
is... So
I had a hat once that said "Make carbs great again."
yeah. So they won't eat potatoes or rice or anything because those are carb heavy and I will gain weight.
Yeah.
So they're just refusing to believe that we're high carbs
Yeah.
in the program.
Great marketing from the Atkins system, trying to make people scared of carbs. What's the movie with Ryan Gosling when he's talking to the person? He's like, "You need carbs. Your carbs function on glucose. Your brain functions on glucose." It was a really funny scene because the person was doing keto, but your brain's favorite fuel is carbohydrate. Your muscle's favorite source of energy is glycogen, which only gets restored through carbohydrate, bananas, potatoes, rice, and things like that. So the reason why people think that carbs make them fat, it doesn't. It will spike up the weight on the scale if done improperly. So here's what I mean. The people that say that have probably done Atkins or keto, so some form of like low carbohydrate diet. So like I said, in all of your muscles on your body, there's glycogen storage, which is when you work out, your body is going to use that as a fuel of energy. So if you completely cut carbohydrates from your diet, you're not replenishing this glycogen that's being used while you're moving and exercising. So that glycogen gets depleted in all of your muscle. But there's a weight associated to that glycogen, right? It's kind of like a tank of gas and it's full of glycogen, and then you're emptying the tank by not refilling it, but you're using your car. So if the tank is full or empty, there's a weight difference. So that's why when people do keto or Atkins, they see like a significant weight loss in the first like week or 2 weeks. Like, oh my God, I lost 10 pounds in a week or 2 weeks. Like, no, you basically empty the tank. There's less water retention because there's water retention that comes with glycogen, which again, not a bad thing. It helps your body function properly. So they empty the tank. But now what happens is the tank is empty. The body still loves, glycogen and glucose to have energy for its muscles. And so as soon as they were to eat like potatoes or rice or bananas or any form of carbohydrate, the body goes like, yeah, let's put energy back in the tank. If I fill a quarter of that tank, there's a weight associated with filling a quarter of that tank and a little bit of water retention that comes with it.
Right.
So when people step on a scale and they go like, oh my God, I've put on 3 pounds. I'm like, you filled up your gas tank. That was a good thing. But to them, number on the scale going up equals bad.
Right.
But it's not. You're literally refilling your glycogen tank. So that's why people fear carbs, because it makes the number go
Their
up,
weight goes up.
But it's stupid because they literally emptied their gas tank, right? Also, like I said earlier, how you lose the weight is how you're expected to keep it off. Are you going to do keto for the rest of your life? No, eventually you'll eat carbs. Guess what's going to happen once you do? You're going to refill the gas tank. The weight's going to come up. It's not fat. You're just refilling your gas tank. So we like to keep the gas tank full and constantly replenishing it so that when we lose weight in a calorie deficit, it's actually fat that's coming off versus just playing with how full the tank is, basically.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, then the opposite of that is low protein anxiety. I'm plant-based, but I don't think I'm getting enough protein.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody talks about protein, whether you're carnivore or plant-based. But there's a lot more into the plant-based space because they don't know how to actually get that.
Yeah. Let me address all of this because I talked about this with Dr. Matthew Nagar on the podcast. So if you're looking to actively build lean muscle tissue and improve your body composition, those 2 goals are one of those 2 goals. And especially as you get older, protein becomes more important. So if your goal is to build more lean muscle tissue, improve your body composition, or if you're just getting older and trying to build more muscle so that you don't get injured, enjoy quality years in your life, you want to aim for 0.8 gram per pound of body weight. If you're someone that's overweight, just grab your ideal body weight.
Okay.
All right. So if you're listening to this, you have some weight to lose, just grab your ideal body weight. That's obviously realistic and healthy. And whatever, that's like 100 pounds, an example for easy math for me, then you grab 80 grams of protein per day. Okay. Pretty straightforward. So grab your ideal body weight and then times 0.8, you'll have your protein goal for the day. Now, that's pretty easy to eat with whole food. Personally, I'm a fan of some plant-based protein powders just because it makes that easier. There's a lower calorie cost to hitting that protein goal. Some people don't want to.
Right.
On the YouTube channel, I made a no protein powder smoothie with one of our clients, Linda, who's 67. And we put soft tofu in the smoothie with some berries, and it was good. So there's ways to get around it. Personal preference, I'd use plant-based protein powder for that. The ones asking, I use Nutrigasm. Disclaimer, I've actually financially invested into that company. My good friend owns it, so I always like to put that disclaimer. But yeah, so I personally like to use a plant-based protein powder. Now, there's some doctors that will say that higher protein will affect longevity. Mm-hmm. So when I spoke to Dr. Matthew Nagra, which I invite you guys to listen to that episode, I've brought that up. And he said those studies are for meat. So if you consume more meat, if you consume more protein from meat, your longevity is going to go down. You're not going to live as long. There's no studies showing that higher plant-based protein consumption is going to make your life shorter, right?
Right.
So aiming for that 0.8 gram, you're absolutely fine. It's safe. You're not going to die 10 years earlier. And it's going to help you put on more lean muscle tissue.
Yeah, it's always, a lot of doctors saying things and then you take it and run with it.
But here's my issue with that. And I'm going to be speaking on stage with some of those doctors that said these things. And what I'm going to say is against some of them, but I have a lot of big names backing what I say. They don't clarify.
Right.
They say low protein is all you need to worry about. But people have to keep in mind, who are they speaking to? They're speaking to the average American who consumes meats and processed food. Absolutely. Tell those people to eat less protein. That means they're going to eat less steak and less chicken. They're not talking about the people that are whole food plant-based that are already eating healthy. Right. Yeah. They have to clarify. They never clarify. That's the part that bugs me because we get those questions. I'm like, they're not talking to you. They're talking to the average American.
Yeah, that's one thing too, because the people that listens doesn't know it's not for them. They listen and they think that person is talking to them and then they run with it.
Yeah, you have to I'll put it this way for people. When I speak, I'm very conscious of who's listening. I know the average age of a listener. I know approximately what state they live in, what country they live in, male, female. I know all that from the stats. Doctors, when they're speaking and promoting a book, it is a business. They're trying to sell books. And yes, they're trying to provide information through the means of selling a book. So the book is meant for the overall of the population, so they know that the majority of people that they want to buy the book to get access to that information is going to be the average American. That's who they're trying to turn around to eat, like us. So yeah, they're going to tell us people eat less protein because that means less steak and less chicken. They're not talking to the whole food plant-based 60-year-old that's skinny fat trying to put on muscle.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Intense answer, but I just get this question all the time.
We're going to go on to the next question then. Past restrictive dieting or the yo-yo patterns. This is very, very common that I hear. I've done every diet out there, lose weight, then I gain it back. So it goes back and forth. It's like a cycle. Yeah.
So two things why that happens. One of them, like I said earlier, whatever method you use to lose the weight is probably going to have to do to keep the weight off. So if you've severely restricted yourself, you've done keto or Atkins or some weird that's out there on TikTok nowadays, that's all you know to be this light.
Right.
So you're like, oh, well, I have to keep eating this way to continue to be this light, but it's not sustainable. So eventually you just end up reverting back to how you were eating before. And then you put all the weight back on. Big surprise, right?
Yeah.
Second, if you actually have a sustainable method to eat, like we teach our member, eat whole food plant-based, you focus on a variety. I'm not obsessing over low fat, high fat, whatever. Calories, whole food plant-based, protein, variety. That's what we want to focus on. That's what's going to be sustainable. We want you to learn to eat out because realistically, you're probably going to eat out and you need to learn how to navigate these situations. So that's why we bring people through a reverse dieting phase. So that's phase 2 of our program where we help you speed up your metabolism, right? So when we help you speed up metabolism, it's a slow process. It takes 4 months to do because your metabolism adjusts slowly. You can't increase your food too much because you're going to put all the weight back on. I've done several podcasts on this. I'm not going to go too much in depth on it. I will address one thing because I've had one doctor give me about speeding up the metabolism. We won't say any names. I'm gonna be sharing the stage with them later about speeding up the metabolism sentence, because they were referring to someone that is like 300, 400, 500 pounds. They don't want to speed up their metabolism because it's going to accelerate the rate at which they're going to die. Basically, they're going to die faster because they're 300, 400, 500 pounds. If you are average normal weight, 20 pounds overweight, if you're skinny fat, once we're done losing the weight and we speed up your metabolism, I'm not speeding your body up to being able to eat 4,000 calories a day where your rate of digestion is going to be so high that's going to overexert your body and you're going to die 20 years early. We're bringing you back to your maintenance calorie, to a normal level of food, so you don't have to eat like a bird for the rest of your life.
Right.
People say, some people out there, I'm not going to name any names, are like, yeah, those people should eat 1,200 calories for the rest of their life. Who can do that? That's my breakfast. You know what I mean? Like who can eat this little food? I'd rather, a lot of our women will end up at like between 2,000 and 2,400 calories as a maintenance. That's a beautiful place to be. You're not speeding up your metabolism where you're going to die 20 years early. You're getting back to a place where it is sustainable for you to eat a normal amount of food, get more vitamins and nutrients in because you're eating whole food plant-based.
That brings to the next issue. A lot of potential members. I'm not eating enough, right? So basically, I'm eating between 1,000 to 1,200 calories, and I still can't lose the weight.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you're eating that little. I mean, I'm surprised, but.
There's different. First of all, those are people before they come to the program. We don't do that to people. We want to clarify that. So for those people, they need to reverse diet. They need to bring the metabolism back up to a normal balanced level, so that then we can go into a body recomposition phase, because they are in no position. Because if they're not losing at 1,000, 1,200 calories, theoretically, they're not in a deficit. They're at a maintenance for how slow their metabolism is. So technically, we need to go deeper into a deficit to induce some fat loss. I'm not going to bring someone to 800 calories. That's not healthy. And not only is it not healthy, but you're getting less vitamins and nutrients because you're literally eating less food. Right? So we want to be able to speed that metabolism back up to like at least like 2,000, 2,200, go to maintenance for a little bit, and then go to 2,000 calories. And magically they start losing weight at 2,000 calories, right? So that's the process we want to take with those people. A lot of the time, the people that end up there are people that have a history of yo-yo dieting. So they've tried to lose weight and didn't work, so they kind of eat more food, and then they try to lose weight, so go to a steep calorie deficit again. And over time, the steep calorie deficit just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Where the metabolism is just not responding anymore. It's really slow, where they have to eat less and less and less food. And like I look at pasta and I put on weight. Like that's from years of yo-yo dieting, basically.
And it's very unhealthy.
Yeah, for sure.
I was just thinking about 1,000 calories is like one smoothie bowl, acai bowl.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it this way, because when I interviewed Chuck for the show, we talked about this. When he was really, really sick, he was eating 200 calories per day. Like that's all his stomach could handle, 200 calories a day. It's like if I could get a scoop of like a tablespoon of peanut butter, I'd be excited for the day, because his stomach was so stressed and distorted that he couldn't eat any food. But guess what happened? Once his stomach started feeling better, he started eating more food. Again, Chuck's still eating whole food plant-based, but he started putting on some weight. And that's when people were like, what is happening to Chuck? Did he revert back to his old habits? That's why I did the whole podcast, and that he's sick and dealing with all these health issues. But he put on weight because he went from 200 to eating a normal amount of healthy food. But because there's such a big jump, his body was like, we're used to 200. You're giving us more. That's extra that we don't need. Let's store it as fat. And because when you lose a ton of weight like that, all your fat cells in your body, there's more fat cells inside of your fat cells, and those get emptied. So you just have like deflated balloons all over the body. And when you have a slow metabolism, you start eating too much too fast, those deflated balloons start to fill up faster than someone that didn't lose a ton of weight. So it's easier for someone that's lost a ton of weight to put a bunch of weight back on. Yeah.
Okay. So what about the ones that start so high in calories and the opposite?
Oh, honestly, best case scenario, because we just removed 200 calories and it's like, I start losing weight. So that's perfect scenario for us. It's so much easier that way. But then the issue is not about creating a calorie deficit and losing weight at a higher amount of food. The issue is if they're overeating that much, they probably have a bad relationship with food,
Right.
which is a different thing that we need to handle with them.
Yeah. So then they go, I snack too much, right? Like
Yeah.
I can't help it. I
We've got a lot of
crave sugar. Love sugar or salty.
Yeah.
And then there's that part where they're worried that if they go into a deficit, that they'll be starving.
Yeah, you could be if you do it improperly, but honestly, our number one complaint is it's too much food and I can't eat all of it. I'm like, good problem. We're trying to lose weight. If you were to eat crackers and peanut butters all day, like the volume of food that you would be able to eat for the amount of calories would be very minimal. You'd be starving. There's no vitamins, there's no nutrients, there's not a lot of fiber. The volume is very small. But when you're eating whole food plant-based, like you can have a massive Buddha bowl for 400 calories that would be so filling that a lot of people wouldn't be able to finish it. So it's just about the food choices that you make and how much volume you can get out of those calories versus eating really high calorie dense food.
Right. Then that brings us to the opposite problem of I can't eat all the food.
Yeah. So then
it's a lot of food.
So then the opposite solution, let's throw in more avocados and nuts
Right.
and seeds and calorie dense foods that have less volume to be able to get the energy in
There you
while
go.
being able to eat the food. Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about lifestyle and support system. This is the most common.
Yeah.
Lack of support from partners as we
Divorce.
Our family.
Get another partner.
someone did say that before. My husband still eats meat and junk food, and it's hard to stay on track.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Like I struggle with this one because like we have a beautiful relationship. I support whatever you do. You support whatever I do. So I can't even comprehend someone marrying someone and that person not being supportive of the other person's goal.
Right.
Like that's to me that why did you marry that person? Right. Again, that's just my own personal thought because we're so supportive of like whatever you want to do, you know, I've supported you through and same here.
Yeah.
So for me to try and do something and you'd be like, no,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, like, that's why I married you because we're there for each other, you know, and we're a great team. So, two things to that, like obviously, you know, don't divorce your partner. Well, your choice, but, if you're, several things to that. If your partner isn't ready to make the change, you can't force them to make the change as much as you want them to, you won't be able to, because it is so hard to transition how you eat because there's so much conditioning from all your years growing up, how you grew up and all that stuff. You will not be able to change someone's eating pattern unless they want to. Second is they may want to, but they are, I don't want to say lazy, but they're just not willing to put in the work, basically. So what happens a lot of the time is you have to be the bigger person in a scenario. If you really care about impacting the life of your husband or your wife or your kids, you have to be the bigger person. You have to be the one that's strong-willed, and you have to commit to eating this way. And if you are able to lead by example, your partner's watching, your kids are watching. We see it all the time. We coach 1,000+ people. We have hundreds of stories like that.
Right.
If you lead by example, eventually the partner turns around. Eventually the kids turn around. Even if they don't start eating vegan, they're going to be supportive of how you're eating. They might start eating less junk food, right?
Right.
I think your average is like a 10-pound weight loss from the partner that's not in the program just by being around their partner.
Right.
So there's always like a change happening. But it's just if you're the one that has to be the strong one, like life's not fair. You just have to be that person, right? It might not be as easy for you as it would be for us if we were to do it, right? Because we're being supportive of each other. So you have to be the bigger person. The thing that really, really helps is being in a supportive community. That's why we have our group and we have our group calls several group calls every single week, is to have that community, because some of our clients are that person in their household. They are the only one eating whole food, plant-based and exercising when everyone else around them is eating unhealthy food, is not exercising, is sitting around watching TV all day. So having a group of like-minded people is really, really, really helpful. Right. During those times where you're like doubting yourself, like this is really hard. Like everyone's eating chips and pizza around me and I'm here with my Buddha bowl and I got to go do my workout. Like, you know, again, life's not fair. You just got to deal with the cards that you've been dealt.
And it's vice versa. Husbands, you know, their wife's not supportive. because we've had those before too. But then there's also this past month where, you know, a potential member actually signed up.
And the partner was not supportive, and they
was
went out.
not supportive in terms of like, you know, just ask her to basically discontinue it.
Yeah.
Like right away. And I felt really, really bad for that person because she was lovely and, you know, she just wanted change. And she needed help in terms of like everything.
We've had so many women that had to leave the program because their husband wasn't being supportive. Like throughout the years, we have a lot of situations like that.
Yeah, that's just sad. But you know what? We have no control over that. And, you know, as a thank you, we always send a special gift to them to help them out, get started. So hopefully she's using that. And, you know, we're always here to support.
To this episode.
We're there for you. Okay, the next is busy schedule or caregiving, which is you're very familiar and been through that. I'm caring for my spouse, parent, daughter, son, right?
Yeah.
And barely have time for myself. So they feel guilty even doing this for them.
Yeah, we have a ton of caregivers in the program just because of my own history of being a caregiver. I did a podcast with a member named Lori or Lexa. So if you just type that on our YouTube or podcast, you'll be able to listen to her episode. She's been caring for her son for like almost 2-3 decades at this point. Phenomenal woman. We have had a lot of great caregivers throughout the years. It's what I said earlier. It's selfish for you not to take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, if you want to show up as the best version of yourself for the people that you love, you have to be able to take care of yourself. It's hard to pour from an empty cup, right? There's nothing to give. And so I'll just grab Laura as an example. Like, because she's stronger, she's better able to like help her son, right? And because she's eating healthier, she has more energy, she's in a better mood. So you just show up better for the people that you love. So yes, being a caregiver is tough. And I was a caregiver for almost 5 years, 24/7. I get it. I still found the time to work out and eat healthy food, because I know that if I ate terrible food and I didn't work out, I would be depressed because of how hard the situation is of being a caregiver. Right. You would feel like no energy. You probably just get angrier, more short-tempered, impatient. And it's not, if you are in the position of a caregiver, you probably have a really big heart and you don't want to be like that. You want to show up as the best version of yourself. So absolutely, you have to take care of yourself. Like, exercising and eating healthier food is the basic minimum to filling a little bit of your cup so that you can pour into other people.
Right. And then that's where, you know, the guilt comes in, and they feel like, hey, if I'm not spending every minute with the person that they're giving care for, then it feels selfish. Like they're just doing this, you know, when someone else needs the help. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I've had that, but not with exercising. Like, if I wanted to take a day to myself, to like take a break and let, for example, my late partner let her sister come in or something, I would feel guilty for me just taking time to go on a hike or just spend time for myself. Absolutely. But for an exercise, like, again, she wanted me to exercise so I could feel good, right? And I'm sure the person is caring for wants them to feel good. They don't want them to be burnt out and exhausted.
Right.
And so, for sure you won't like go take a trip on your own. You know what I mean? Like, for sure you would feel guilty because, you know, I didn't do it because I would feel guilty. But exercising, like, you need to do a minimum of caring for yourself. Because I'll be honest with you, like, I got sick after she passed away because I didn't take, like, I exercised and I ate healthy and I still got sick out of it because I could have taken care of myself more, but I felt guilty. So I think there's a lesson to learn for people from that.
Right. And it's like you mentioned, it's selfless to actually give yourself that gift of, you know, eating properly and training, and so you can give more and pour not from an empty cup, but from the overflow, which I say.
I'll use an example. We had parents that were in the program that was like, I don't have time because I have kids. And then they started the program, started losing weight, exercise, eating healthier. Like, you know what? It's the best thing I could have done for my kids, because before I was like short-tempered. I get angry more easily. I'd be more impatient. And now I'm like just more in control of my emotions. I'm like,
and they do more activities with their kids, I bet, because I hear that too.
Yeah. And what's funny, like, I don't know if she still listens to the podcast, but Bobo, there was a client that I had in Vancouver. I would go to her house. That's beginning of Fit Vegan. I don't train people in person anymore unless we do like a workshop. But I would go there and her daughter would come and do like the animal flows with us. She'd grab some like little tiny weights and exercise. Like you're leading by example for your kids.
Yeah, they just follow.
Yeah.
And they think it's fun, which is fun, you
Yeah.
know, like working out with your kids. Okay, now what about traveling frequently? So we hear about busy schedules, but now we're getting more like professionals that's like travel or retired and been traveling, constantly on the go, don't have a consistent routine, hard to find places to work out or get meals.
I give two answers. The first one is we have hundreds of those people in our program and they're getting good. Look at Gary and Linda. They're retired. They travel all the time. Phenomenal results. You can go listen to their cooking videos and workouts I did with them, right? Yeah. We had someone who was in the military that traveled pretty much every week to different bases, lived out of a hotel, had his little cooker, has little Tupperwares for his mini fridge, did his workout with resistance band, sometimes went to the gym on the base, was able to get good transformation. Brendan, traveled like freaking, 48 weeks out of the year. He's a nutrition scientist. Yeah. We had him on the podcast as well. I did a few episodes with him. Cool guy. We'll see him in Cleveland for NHA. So yeah, we have a lot of people. Basically what I'm trying to say is if someone else can do it, you can do it. It's doable. I have a lot of stories from people ranging from, 35 all the way up to 67. The other part is if you're traveling a lot and you plan on that being your life for the next few years,
right,
then you have a choice to make. Do you want to wait until all of this is done to start getting healthier and taking care of yourself? Or do you want to start to develop habits and potentially strategies that can get you healthier now? Like, do you want to wait 2 years to stop feeling like is basically what I'm trying to say.
That's so good. Yeah, I never thought about it that way. But yeah,
it's
true.
If that's your life, like, let's learn how to navigate your life while trying to exercise in a hotel room with a resistance band.
Right.
Let's try to learn how to, travel with some essentials for your nutrition. Let's learn how to make better decisions at the restaurant. When we land somewhere, it was first thing I do, Instacart, almond milk, frozen fruits, so we can make protein smoothies, right? Like there's little strategies when you travel.
We bring our blender.
Yeah, we bring a little blender. So it's just, do you want to wait 2-3 years to stop feeling like or do you want to take ownership and start developing some strategies for you to start feeling better now? Are your results going to be slower than someone that's just at their house has a regular schedule? Yeah, probably. But again, do you want to wait 3 years to stop feeling like or however long you're going to be traveling?
Yeah, so that brings me to the next point or like common issue that are challenges for people is I'm waiting for the perfect time. It's just not the perfect time for me.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a perfect time for anything that happened in your life?
No, definitely.
Right. So there's no, I think it's a form of procrastination personally. But I think there's an element of, do you have it's not the perfect time, is do you have the capacity to take that on? I think that people are not wording it properly. Like, I'm just waiting for the perfect time. It's like, no, I think you potentially don't have the capacity to take that on right now. Maybe you have too many other projects on the go.
Right.
And right now you can't fit that in. So now it's about looking, okay, out of all the obligations that you have on your plate, are they all essential?
Right.
Right. If they are, because sometimes, you have your careers blowing up, you have a newborn baby, like you're caregiving for your parents, like life is like really handing it to you. Okay, great. Maybe not the time to start a program, but we can make different decisions when it comes to our nutrition.
Right.
Right. Like we have to eat every day. So can we learn to make better decisions during that time? Sometimes, a lot of times it's like looking about what's on our plate and being like, do I need to do all this stuff? Is there stuff that I can, just like business, right? Can I eliminate it, delegate it? What's the other one? Or automate it?
Good one.
Right. When I come back from digital detox, that's what I do. When the team comes to me with tasks, I'm like, okay, can we eliminate it, automate it, or delegate it? So if you look at some of the projects you have on your plate, can I eliminate, delegate, or automate some of it and get some of that time back so you can prioritize your health ultimately?
That's a good one. I'm going to write that down. Okay. Now, this one's very, very popular. Cost and commitment.
Yeah.
Right? Price objections, of course. I love this, but I didn't expect it to be this much. It's expensive.
Yeah. First of all, I'd say compared to what, right? You can go to any people that are doing vegan fitness coaching. We don't do the same thing as them, right? You get a doctor, you get a nutritionist, you get a trainer on the team. And again, we focus on teaching you sustainable skills, working on your mindset, your relationship with food. It's not just about training nutrition. Training nutrition is such a small part of what we do. So that would be the one thing. Like there's not, to the level that we do it, I don't know anyone else. I know a lot of people in the industry to the extent that we do it. There's no one that does exactly what we do to the extent that we do and how in depth we do it. So you have nothing to compare it to.
Right.
And a lot of those people charge double what we charge, right? That's me wanting to give back. That's a big element of it, is because if I charge double, which I could, because a lot of our competitors in the vegan fitness space are doing that, then we wouldn't be able to help as many people because it wouldn't be as affordable for as many people. Right. That's one thing. The other part is, if you really care about it and you don't have the capacity to do it by yourself, you just have to find a way to make it happen and make it a priority. That's what I did. Again, when I hired my first coach for business, I was minus $70,000 in debt. I was going to lose my apartment at the end of the month. I lost my corporate job. I had $34 in my bank account. I found a way, and I absolutely changed my life to bring a coach into my life, right? So a lot of the times it's about choosing to make it a priority. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, I've done this with a few people. Just audit your expenses. Are you spending money on dumb shit? Are you drinking Starbucks every day? Are you eating out like 5 times a week, a crappy food that you're not supposed to? Like, are you spending money on dumb things that aren't serving you? And if you are, then reallocate those funds to something that's more important to you. Again, I'm not saying to do our program. I'm just saying, like, if you want to get better in any area of your life and you want to invest in someone to help you get there, reallocate your resources, right? It was action expresses priorities. So wherever you spend your money is what you're prioritizing. Are you spending on money on shit that's not towards the goals that you want? If you are spending money towards the goals that you want and this isn't affordable for you, that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's the podcast for free. There's a lot of coaches that are cheaper than what we do. I can't vouch for the quality of what they do. That's one thing. They don't have 5 years plus of experience in 1,000+ transformation. But at the end of the day, if you care and you want guaranteed results, you have to make it a priority at that point. That's what I did for myself. That's what changed my life. We've had members take out loans to do our program. Yeah, we did. Phenomenal transformation, completely changed their life.
If it's important to you, you'll find ways to do it, right? And then if it's not, then you'll find excuses, basically.
And not just that, like, again, some people are not in a financial position where this is doable for them. It's fine. Like, I like to be upfront. This is a business. This is not a nonprofit. I have employees to pay. I have incredible coaches that I'm paying to take care of our members. Got doctors, got nutritionists on staff. Like, this isn't cheap for me to pay. I'm not going to run a company to lose money because then I wouldn't be around to help more people. So I need this to be successful so that I can continue to help and serve more people. And I understand that we can't serve everyone, right? We're not really like a Honda Civic. We're more like a Lambo, you know what I mean? Like, we're kind of up there. We're not a Rolls Royce or like a Bentley, but we're like a Lamborghini, you know what I mean? Like, we're a nice car.
They're pretty much up there with the Rolls Royce. Depending what kind of Lambo.
In terms of quality, right? We're like I'll take a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, but in terms of investment, like, there's people that charge 4 times what we do and are than we do. But we're not, if you have a Honda budget, like, you know what I mean? Like, you won't be able to get the car and you have to be okay with that. Everyone's responsible for their own financial position.
Right.
I'll say that. I was in the hole, lost everything. I was responsible for when I had no money. I was responsible for when I had money. But what I'm trying to say is, if it's a priority, you'll find a way to make it happen. That's how my life has changed. That's how the life of our members have changed. And for some people, they've never really invested in themselves. So it's like, I'll frame it this way. I'm from Canada and I just got my green card to live in the US. I'm not used to paying for health insurance. That, like, it's free for us in Canada. So when I come here, we got a quote. It was like $1,200 or something per month for Ivy and I for health insurance. To me, that is wild because I'm not used to paying for it. I'm like, I gotta pay like what, 13 grand?
What,
So,
you mean for
like
the whole year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 14 plus K to for health insurance when I'm used to paying $0. So to me, it's a new expense that I have to get used to. So if you've never invested in yourself, you might feel how I feel like about medical care in the United States. So yeah, it just, again, it's a bump that you have to overcome, but I can't say this enough. Like, follow a coach that leads in the way that he's promoting. Like, I walk the talk. I invest in myself all the time in different coaches because it's changed my life and it's what's accelerated all the success I wanted to in health and fitness in different areas. So yeah, basically make it a priority, I think, is the best way to put it.
But I also say to the people that I speak with that it is an investment, right?
Yeah. Like, it's not as crazy as people think. Like, I don't want to say numbers on podcasts, but we have a new program that we launched that's a little bit more affordable, but it's not like thousands of dollars per month. You know what I mean? Yeah,
but then again, this is an investment for your future health, right? This is not about aesthetic. For the most part, we're helping 45
That's plus. A bonus.
Right. You look good, coming out of this, but for most of the reasons being, hey, let's prevent diseases from coming to you. Let's reverse other ones that's possible that could happen.
Let's build muscle, enjoy quality of life.
Right, exactly. It's the longevity. It's the quality of life. You want to live up to 100. I get that a lot, by the way. People's goals is to live up to 100.
Yeah.
I don't want to live up to 100, barely making it to like walk or like do any activities. I want to be 100 and still going to the gym and still walking and hiking and doing all that stuff. So that's what we're providing. Yeah. And then whatever it is that they say is expensive, we spoke about this, once you develop any diseases, once you start taking the meds, surgery, and things like that, and the inconvenience of all of it, it's worth way more.
Especially if you live in the U.S.
For sure. Yeah, not only the insurance, but so that's one thing. It's all of that to like now.
I'll share this. So how I make decisions and who I invest in, and there's some of the money that I invest. I would say use the word spend that I invest in myself. I look, has there been success? Has there a track record of success? And has a lot of people done it?
Right.
If it wasn't worth it, would we have 1,000+ success transformation? Would we still be in business 5+ years into it? Right. Will we have backing from some of the biggest vegan doctors in the industry? Will we have had Dr. Lori, who financially invested in the program, not for free? Alexandra Paul, Robert Cheek, Chuck Carroll, Wanda Uberman, right? From National Health Association. Like, if it sucked, you know what I mean? Like, all those people would not be in the program. No doctors would recommend people to us. So
we didn't sponsor those people. They're actually they joined us. Any
by themselves,
would join. But that's what's beautiful about it. But those people see the value of that investment.
But those are all successful people that have invested in themselves before, that see the value of having a coach.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what
some people are newer to it.
Once you get sick, then you would give everything to the last penny that you have just to get better and just to get that health back, right?
Yeah. But I'm sorry to be in the position of the people listening. If you've never been sick, you don't know what that feels like. It's just a hypothetical idea of like, I think that, but for the people that have actually been sick, they get it. But I think for a lot of people, it's just like, it's a bump. It's a mental, it's a level up in their brain that they have to do to learn to invest in themselves. And once they do, they'll be like, oh, I could have done this 10 years ago. This is phenomenal.
Right.
That's what happened to me at like 7-8 years ago.
Well, I've seen people around me get sick, like my grandparents and all those, and they passed away from lack of basically taking care of themselves. And I see that. And so now, like, if we do some wellness treatment or like the hyperbaric chamber, things like that, I'm all about it because I don't want to get sick. And I would rather spend the money, wisely. Of course, not like we don't have lights put on the house anymore because we've spent all of it. But I do see the value, and I just hope that others do the same. That's pretty much it. Like, I just, I'm getting older, and I want to be as healthy as I can be and be with you for the rest of my life.
So 100 years. Another 100 years.
Exactly. Like blue zone people. But anyways, so that's a good one. What about the fear of commitment? What if I can't follow through or something comes in life and it doesn't work?
Well, it always works if you follow it. So that's one thing. So fear of commitment, well, it's just like anything in life. If you don't commit to it, it's not going to work.
Right.
All right. So you just have to choose that you're committing. And when you commit, it works out. If life happens, again, if there's a death in the family, like we had to remember, again, her cancer got worse, so she left the program. It's understandable. We just cancel her subscription. And there's nothing wrong with that. We understand. We're even going to donate to her fundraiser at the end of the month to support her with her cancer treatments. Like, we understand that life happens, but if you just get busy and stuff, like, you need to learn how to navigate that. And what better way to do that with having a coach that's done it hundreds and hundreds of times? Because realistically, are you going to get busy at other times in your life? Like, yeah. So you need to acquire these skills. So you get busy, you don't just like shut down and revert back in your shell and be like, I'm just going to not do anything until I'm not busy anymore. Like, life is going to keep you busy throughout different periods, and you need to learn how to navigate that and take care of yourself.
That's exactly what I say.
If you get really busy, if we don't put on weight, that's a phenomenal win sometimes, right? I had a client go to Europe for 2 weeks. And she came back and she lost 2 pounds. And she was like, I thought I was going to put on 15. I was like, a phenomenal win, right? She didn't lose as much as she would have if she stayed home. But hey, we'll take the win because of that situation, right?
What about when they say, okay, this is still part of fear of commitment. Why can't I do a trial like a month, a 30-day?
2 reasons. We have a really good reputation. We're really good at what we do. So if someone comes in for a month, and when long time ago, I let people, like, we've been doing this for 5+ years, but long time, I let people come in and then they did 1 month. They were in the program for 1 month. They did a quarter of the workout and then they went on like, God, the program sucks. I didn't see anything and blah, blah, blah. I was like, you did a quarter of the workouts and you were only in here for 1 month. So now we require, I don't care anymore. We're too popular and too good at what we do now for me to do that. We require a 4-month commitment so we can actually provide true transformation and true value to someone so they can see actual results. So no one can come in and be like, oh, this sucked. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's fair because you also mentioned to me before, as I remember when I'm starting to help out, that it takes time to undo unhealthy habits, right?
It's not going to happen it's not going to happen in a month. Like, years of conditioning in the opposite direction.
Exactly. And they've been at it for years. So a month, which is like, roughly 4 weeks, will not do the miracle of solving all that.
A lot of those people just want to do it for a month and give it a shot and be like, wow, this is a lot of effort. I'm not going to do this. But if you invest in yourself, like, got skin in the game, I have to make this happen.
Yeah.
Right? And then guess what? You push through that little speed bump that was in front of you, and now you start to get some result. You're like, oh, this is actually fun. I'm making some progress. People are looking for an easy way out. They think like, oh, 1 month is not that big of a commitment, so they're looking for an easy way out. We've been at this for too long. We're too good at what we do. We have too good of a reputation. I'm not risking it for someone that wants to half-ass it and just have an easy way out.
Right. It's just fair. What about when they say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to try this on my own. And I'm going to try to lose the weight. I think I know what to eat and I know how to train.
Yeah. Well, respectfully, the majority of people we talk to are between 50 and 86. So there's a very high likelihood that you've tried by yourself for probably a few decades at this point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you're not coming to us having never tried before. So if you're coming to us on a call, you're taking the time out of your busy day to book a call with us, it's probably been concerning you for a while. You've probably already been trying for a while. And a lot of time it's when they hear the investment for the program or the commitment or whatever it may be. It's like, actually, let me just give this one last shot. I mean, it's been 2 decades of one last shots. So again, personal choice. We don't push anyone to join the program. I don't want anyone in the program that doesn't want to be there. We remove people from the program if they're disrespectful. I have no issues removing people from the program. We just want to serve people that want to be there, basically. But yeah, I think people need to be honest with themselves. If you've already been trying and it's not worked, what's going to be different this time? You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to ask for help. Like, I don't understand why people are so afraid to ask for help. I ask for help all the time. I go to a store.
They're embarrassed.
But I go to a store. I don't even look for anything. I just ask for help right away. I'm like, where's this? I don't figure out.
Like, I would say I can relate to that. Sometimes I don't want to ask questions because I'm embarrassed. Like in
Of
school,
what?
just to be like in the spotlight and like just being vulnerable. Like that's not easy for a
Darn, a
lot of
one-on-one
people.
call with you. No one else is there.
Yeah, but I get it. Some people are just like not very open or vulnerable, so they don't want to be on the spotlight and they're afraid.
They need to get to that place mentally themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you have to, if you're not there mentally, I think you're somewhat lying to yourself because subconsciously you know you need help, which is why you booked a call with us. Because if you didn't think you need help, you wouldn't have booked a call with us, right? So to a certain extent, you know that you need some help. But yeah, at the end of the day, like you've probably already tried a bunch of times before you came to us. Again, respectfully, if you want to go try it by yourself again, go for it. Hey, we're going to be around for a long time. We'll gladly coach you in 6 months from now when you're in the same position.
Right.
But
What about the comparison to other programs? Because they've been with the competitor, like didn't work. Now, what makes us different? Because they've already tried the other ones, which says the same exact thing we say.
no, they don't. I know all the big-ish ones, and they don't. They're not. We don't do the same thing. I think that's the best way to put it. Like, in terms of whole food plant-based body recomposition for over 50, we're literally the number one in the world. There's no one that comes even close to our numbers and what we do in terms of our size and everything. There's no one that's close to us. You want to go work with, I'm not going to say any names of them. Again, I know some of them. Especially at 50 to 86, you're going to go work with people that coach 30-year-olds. Body responds differently at 30. You want to work with someone that's worked with people that are in your age group. You know what I mean? It's a different 50 to 86 different ball game that if you're coaching a 20, 30, or even like a 40-year-old.
Right.
It's very different.
It really is.
Yeah. And again, no pressure. We're good. Go shop around. You'll come back to us anyways.
Thank you. I'm totally fit vegan loyal.
Yeah, but
No, because
I don't do
I've
the
seen it.
I don't do the consultation call because right now we're too big, and I got the podcast and I have a lot of things to do. That's why I have you, and we have Sebastian on our team and Alex to kind of help with these calls because you guys are awesome at what you're doing. But another reason why I don't do the calls is because at this point, like we have so much momentum that if someone doesn't want to be there, I'm like, cool, go do your reflection. If ever you are ready, come back. We'll gladly help you. I'm not twisting anyone's arm to do this because I know how much effort you have to put in to transform.
Right.
And that's why, like, you guys, all of you guys are trained. Don't force anyone to be in the program, right? Don't force anyone because if they don't want to be there, they're not going to do the work.
Right.
Bad
Absolutely.
experience for the coach, bad experience for them. It's not going to be fun. So we only bring in people that want to be there, that are willing to learn, that are willing to change.
Yeah, and I feel like, comparing, it's normal. You're shopping, right? So you're always comparing.
Yeah, but you have to compare
product
apples to
product.
apples, not like apples to banana. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's another thing. We're totally different. So for them to immerse themselves into the program and experience it is the only way I can say this is why we're different.
Also, we have Robert Cheek, Chuck Carroll, Alexandra Paul. We had Dr. Lawyer, we have Wonder Berman in the program. Like we have like big, like why would they come to me versus all the other competitors?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so now next is program specific concern. Doubt about whole food plant-based approach. I've been vegan, haven't seen any results. How is this different?
Like they're afraid to go whole food plant-based?
Yeah.
But they're vegan.
Yeah.
So
Like
they're
they're already vegan, so they think they're eating healthy-ish.
Yeah, but if they're not eating whole food plant-based, that means they're eating junk food. That's vegan, basically.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably a big issue.
What about the non-vegan that comes in and go, well, I'm eating organic. They might be meat because we did open up.
So
the whole space.
we coach people that are not vegan, right? To me, it's like I want to help as many people as possible eat more plant-based. If I can get someone to eat 70% plant-based, 80%, 90%, 100% ideal. But if I can get a meter to be open to plant-based and eat 70% and they still want to have some fish or chicken from time to time, like we won't put it in the meal plan. We'll show them how to make the substitution for themselves. But like I'd love to help this person to eat 70, 80% more whole food plant-based because then they'll get the feel how good it feels to eat this way, and they'll get healthier, and they'll be like, well, maybe I should eat 80 or 90% whole food plant-based, right? We can kind of lead them in the right direction versus if I just cut it off and force everyone to be vegan. So we meet people where they're at. It's the same thing with like the workout we talked about with injury. Like, we'll meet you where you're at. If you have to start with doing squats on a chair, great. If we have to start with being like, hey, let's just only have one meal where you have chicken versus 5 meals a day, phenomenal.
Right.
We want to help people where they're at and bring them to the place where they can actually be healthy and reach their goal.
What about when they say, oh, it must be expensive, like how to make these meals because they're whole food plant-based? And
do you see the price of beans versus steak? Or quinoa versus chicken?
Right.
Or a block of tofu is like, what, $1.69 at Whole Foods, or $2, you know, like at another store? A block of tofu, like
Costco.
It's like, yeah, Costco is like $6 and you get 4 packs of it.
Yeah. Especially for grains.
You try to buy chicken breasts, it's more expensive than Whole Foods. Whole Foods is cheap. It's just only when we go to the vegan specialty foods, like a vegan sausage or vegan chicken or stuff like that, that it's like $9 for 4 sausages. That's crazy. But yeah, we need whole food plant-based. It's cheap.
Okay, so that solves that. And then what about the skepticism around online coaching?
Fair enough, right? Like, a lot of people are kind of newer to online and don't know necessarily how this would work. What I would say is, again, if it didn't work, we wouldn't be this successful. You know what I mean? So obviously we like, again, you have calls with your coaches, you have weekly check-ins, you can send videos for feedback on the forum. We have group calls several times a week, so you can connect with coaches and other members. Like, we found a way to make it work. We've been at this for 5+ years, and we wouldn't have this many success transformation if it didn't work. And if you're tech challenge, you know, our members are 50 to 86, they're crushing it. They're fine. I'll be honest, sometimes we have 35-year-olds and 40-year-olds that are like, I can't do tech. And we got a member that's like 85, just like, oh yeah, this is fun. I can do the app. So, you know, it's intuitive. Like, yeah, that's the best way to put it.
And I think you have tweaked everything where it's optimized and it's
everything's
user friendly at this
optimized.
point, right?
Yeah.
And it's clear cut before they even do their day one of the program.
Yeah.
That's great. Trying to think. I think I've asked most
all of
common
it
questions.
I don't take an hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh crap.
No, but no, I'm happy to record this podcast because, you know, you and the team come to me and they're like, people have all these concerns and these questions. And I was like, let's just make a podcast about it. And I can just answer all the questions in one go. So, yeah, I hope it was valuable for people listening to the episode.
I have one more. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
One last thing. So we're always focused into the fat loss, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like
body recomposition.
Right. Or body recomposition. But we haven't really spoken about, hey, I want to gain 5-10 pounds of muscle coming in.
Yeah.
And I'm under eating and I want to look like an athlete after, or do endurance training or something like that.
Yeah. So I don't have a straight cut answer for you, because if they are under eating, do they have great body composition or bad? Do they want to lose fat or not lose fat at all? Like, they're lean and they want to put on muscle, or they have excess body fat?
No, sometimes they're just really in good shape. They just want to build more muscle.
If they're lean and they're under eating, reverse diet, speed up the metabolism, because if you increase the food too fast, they're going to put on a bunch of fat. Once you're done a reverse dieting, go into a slight surplus, train a little bit harder, tweak the training a little bit to put on some muscle. 5 to 10 pounds will take 6 months to a year of like pure lean muscle. I'm not talking about like number on the scale, like pure lean muscle. If you go do a DEXA scan, 6 to 12 months to put on that much muscle. Way longer and harder to put on muscle than it is to lose fat, but makes a significant difference in your physique. If they are under eating and they want to put on muscle, but they have excess fat that they want to lose, they got to reverse diet first, speed up their metabolism, then do a body recomposition phase to lose the excess fat, reverse diet again, then do a lean muscle building phase after. Because if we reverse diet at the beginning because they're under eating, but they have like an extra 20 pounds, and we go into a lean muscle building phase, they'll put on a bit more fat.
Right.
So they'll still be like a little bit fluffy, but with more muscle. And I don't think most people feel comfortable with that. So personally, I do reverse diet, lose the fat, reverse diet again, speed up the metabolism, and then do a lean muscle building phase. But to be fair, most people don't need to do reverse dieting at the beginning. It's only in rare cases where people are severely under eating. But yeah, that's pretty much the path. 10 pounds of fat can take, 10 to 20 weeks
Right.
to lose, right? 10 pounds of muscle will take 52 weeks to put on. Like significant difference in timeline.
Right.
It's so much harder to put on muscle.
Oh, it is. And so easy to lose too, which is crazy.
Yeah, especially if you don't hit your protein, you undereat, and you do a bunch of cardio, you just end up being skinny fat. It's like soft and fluffy body.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar.
You and I, like, to be fair, we're like to a certain extent genetically blessed.
Right.
Like for us to be obese, like we really would have to really, really work hard at it. But you and I get skinny fat so fast. Like if we miss some training and nutrition's not dialed in, like we both like get skinny and like stomach gets bigger.
Gets fluffy.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like our curse basically. We just get skinny fat.
Yeah. I mean, gladly take that over other things, but
it's easier.
Still not fun.
Skinny fat is easier to recover from.
Right.
Yeah. It's less work than if you have to lose like a bunch of weight. Yeah, awesome. Any other thing?
No, the skinny fat was going to be my thing.
Okay.
That's a big one. Like people resonate with you when you speak about skinny fat.
Yeah.
That's why they join.
Skinny fat is not fun. You got a t-shirt on, you feel good, or like a dress. I wouldn't put on a dress, but you have a dress on or a t-shirt on, you look in shorts, you look great. Then you take off your shirt, you're like, oh damn, I thought you were leaner. My whole life it's been like that. So that battle basically, trying to keep that balance. So yeah, honestly, put on some muscle, like lean out first, lose the excess fat, and then put on some muscle after. Because if you just focus on putting on muscle, you'll put on more fat. You'll just look bigger and fluffier. Until then, you do a fat loss after. If you're younger, in your 20s or whatever, some guys are like, I don't care if I'm fluffier, I just want to get big.
Right.
But I said our members are like primarily like 70% women and 30% men and over 50. So they're like, nah, let me just get lean first and put on some muscle after. Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you bringing those questions. Everyone, thank you very much for listening. If you made it all the way up until the end. If this podcast was helpful for you, definitely let us know. In the link in the description, you can sign up for our free newsletter. I send one every single Saturday morning. Some lessons that can help you on your transformation, improve your mindset, level up your life. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, like the video. On audio, be sure to follow the podcast. You can be notified when new videos come out. I appreciate you all for listening all the way until the end, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye,
Bye everyone.